A wise old angling adage states, if you want to catch really big fish, then use big baits.
You know, over the years, Dan and I have fished from the Northwest Territories to the Amazonian jungles and actually have caught fish on a very limited selection of lures. A lot of people have the tendency to think that their fishing situations are unique, but nothing could be further from the truth. Actually, a lot of lures and angling techniques cross geographical boundaries. Regardless of where you fish in the world, giant game fish of most species like chewing on big baits. For starters, let's check out this Rapala CountDown 18. I've caught wahoo, kingfish while speed trolling in Mexico, Belize, and Florida, and pike or muskie in the US and Canada. This Magnum Rapala is an exceptional lure for striper, pike, and muskie in North America, while it's a great bait for peacock bass in the saber-toothed payara in South America.
Hey, a personal favorite of mine, the Super Shad, is my go-to lure for casting and trolling for pike, muskie, and giant lake trout. It's simple. Big fish eat big prey, no matter where they swim.
Okay.
Yo, look at that! Look at the size of that fish!
Whoa, big fish.
There he
Look
is.
at the size of that, man.
He
Wow,
flared.
did you see
Yeah,
that?
he flared.
That's
He ran.
a big fish. Hit the waypoint, man. That's a dead fish right there. That's a 35-pounder. I know one thing, lure selection is really important in any crankbait fishing situation. The thing is, right now we're fishing deep weeds up on top. The weeds come up to probably 3-4 feet of the surface. On the deep edge, they probably come up within about 8 feet. This bait here runs at the right depth level for this particular given situation.
You know, when you think about it, choosing a crankbait involves size, the color, and the action. And probably all over the world, prey have two basic shapes. Sort of a short, wide shape like this, shad, super shad, or a long, thin shape like this Mag 18. Now, no matter where you fish in the world for practically any species of fish, this probably holds true. And what you want to do is pick a bait of the approximate size and shape of the predominant prey fish. And using that as a guideline, it will help you pick your lures and catch more fish.
Another vital aspect of any angling situation is choosing the most effective lure color. Many experienced anglers choose lure color based on two distinct factors. Ask yourself these questions. First, what are the dominant color patterns of the bait fish in the water I'm fishing? Second, what is the water clarity? Remember, many game fish rely strongly on sight to locate prey. Fish must see a lure before they can bite it. Therefore, different lure colors are essential to fish clear, stained, in dark water conditions. An assortment of lures in several color patterns, different shapes, and lip designs allow me the flexibility to adjust to any situation I may encounter on the water.
Many of these crankbaits, you can cast them or troll them for many different species of fish. And one thing about casting or trolling, you want to make contact with the structure, whether it be weeds, wood, or rocks. And it takes a bait with good quality and good construction components and able to do that. This particular Shad Rap has an extremely sturdy build, and we've been banging it off of rocks and weeds and wood, and sometimes when a bait hangs up and triggers the strike just as it breaks off the structural element. And we catch a lot of fish banging baits off a structure.
You know, each one of these baits have their own unique innate action, such as this Super Shad is a great bait that I use almost throughout the year. It's got sort of a big floppy wobble with a lot of flash. Some baits have a lot tighter action, such as a CD series. But what you have to do is experiment and tune into what the fish will potentially bite on at that given day. And each different species of fish have preferences, you know what I mean, depending on water temperature, the cover you're fishing, the depth of water they're in. So it's a big experimenting process, just figuring out what the fish will bite on. Ooh, there he is. Look at that, right there by the side
You got
of the
him,
boat.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the jerkbait retrieve, just popping it on the edge of the weed. Mr. Sura, you're gonna have to take command of the ship
I got
here.
it.
Come on, buddy. Oh. Whoa. Whoa. There we go. Boy, I got her hooked pretty good. Just in the tip of the nose. Okay, buddy. Come on, come on. Okay, you gotta get on the trolling motor.
I got it.
Okay, boy, we don't have her hooked that good.
She's snooted good. The
Is
bait's not
that
gonna
it?
rip out. She came right out of that cover, James. I saw her come up and eat the bait right when you twitched it and paused. She
Yeah,
came right
I know.
up and ate it.
I gave it the, you know, just that slow slide. We're sitting on the edge of a deep weed bed. I sort of hesitated the bait about 6-8 feet away from the boat. And she just came up and I just saw her launch it. Came up. Ooh, come on. Come on. Here, we're gonna have to get the fish here because she is not hooked good. Okay, Daniel, you want to net this little guy for me, please?
I will do it.
Right now, the water's 73 degrees. It's midsummer. Boy, come on, buddy. Oh, boy. Oh, look at that. Okay, come on. Oh, this guy is tough. I can't believe it. Okay, Mr. Sura, are you ready? I think we're getting in better position here. I'll just sort of lead her right in there. Yes, there we go. Here, we get her underneath the jaw. Look at that, beautiful starter fish. You know, that fish was just caught on a jerkbait retrieve, classic jerkbait retrieve, but there's a variety of different ways you can, you know, retrieve these baits depending on the situation and the species of fish you're fishing for. We'll get her back in the water.
Let's take a glance at some retrieve alternatives to attract and trigger a wide variety of game fish. Slow rolling. Working a Super Shad or Magnum 18 on the surface is a productive tactic that few anglers use. Cast, then hold the rod high and retrieve very slowly. This imparts a slow, tail-wagging action into the bait, and at times this approach drives fish absolutely crazy and is a great trick to fish over heavy cover like weeds, wood, or rocks.
Here's an erratic jumping retrieve. Cast and keep the rod tip high and use a sharp twitching motion while you retrieve quickly. This motion puts a very erratic fish attracting action into the bait. It's a great presentation to trigger the big boys. This is the classic jerkbait retrieve. Hold the rod tip down, then with a quick sweeping downward stroke, pull the lure. Then simply reel up the slack line and repeat the process. It's a great retrieve to fish a Magnum 18 or a Super Shad.
Here's one of my favorite retrieves, the burning retrieve. Cast and retrieve very fast. Speed can be an effective trigger for most large predators, especially in warm water situations when you're searching for active fish. Burn, baby, burn.
You can't forget about the slow sliding retrieve. This is similar to a jerkbait retrieve, but slower. This technique is particularly effective for inactive fish or cool water conditions and when working around heavy cover. Boy, we're moving along at about a 3.5. You know, any freshwater or saltwater fish can actually swim far faster than you could potentially reel the bait. That's where trolling becomes an important aspect of the angling equation.
We're ready to rock and roll, James. When it comes to trolling, think about this. You take a lure and you put it down and you keep it in the fish's strike zone 100% of the time. If you're casting, the lure is going to hit the water, you're going to drive it down, it's going to run, and then it comes back up to the surface. You're in the strike zone maybe 50% of the time. Those are putting the odds in your favor. Trolling is a viable presentation option for many species of fresh and saltwater fish.
Both of these baits are running really good at about 3.5 miles an hour. Right now, Dan and I are actually pulling two different baits. He's pulling a Mag 18, which will probably run down the way we're trolling, maybe 6 to 8 foot, while the CD 18, I'm gonna try to get it down maybe 12 to 15 foot of water. Realistically, when you're trolling, one of the most important things is to have baits that are speed compatible, whether you're pulling 2 lines or 6 lines. You can see right now with this bait, I'm running the bottom a little bit too hard, so I'm gonna have to pick up a little bit. What you wanna do is run enough line out just to intermittently hit the bottom with whatever lure you're using and not really grind the bait into the bottom. That's perfect right there. Loose drag, just lighten it up just a little bit when you're trolling at this speed, because when they hit it, they'll really fold the rod back.
When we're contour trolling, we prefer to hold the rod, and the reason for that is, number one, I like to feel the bait working, and with this no stretch line, bang, 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 I can feel it. Feel the bottom cover, whether it's rock or sand, and then just as importantly, if you hang up on a bit of a weed and the lure is impeded, you can give it a rip the weed off, and keep it clean and keep on running.
Trolling crankbaits is a real efficient means to cover water. Actually, we pulled up on this point here, fished it for about 20 minutes, covered about 3 or 4 different levels, from the 8-foot level, 10-foot level, 15-foot level, and 17-foot level. Now we're ready to move on to the next spot. Doesn't seem like there's any active biters here right now.
Rapala lures are made to take abuse. Pound them on the rocks, bang them off wood, and let big toothy fish chew on them. Absolutely nothing hurts them. In fact, they like it. Remember, a lure has to be tougher than the fish you're chasing. Rapala's quality components and strict quality control during the production process means these baits are built tough. They are designed to catch big toothy fish year after year, and they do.
Get me out of the boat.
Okay,
big,
wait.
Big fish.
Okay, James,
Big fish. Big one.
did she come out of that wood or
Yeah.
what?
Ooh. Come on, buddy.
Ooh. Get the cradle ready. Ooh, she's a nice looking specimen,
Fish?
James.
Yeah, it is. Whoa, 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 whoa.
We'll just kind of drift down, James.
Yeah. Big crankbaits produce big fish. You gonna get them on the first pass?
I'm gonna get him on the first pass.
Let's do it. Let me get upside of you. Oh, look at the way the leader's wrapped around her nose, Dan. You gonna get her?
Yeah.
You gonna get her? Come on. There we go. Oh, boy, was that fish tough. I can't believe it. Get the pliers out. One thing about crankbaits, they're really effective for big fish throughout the entire course of the season.
And as a rule of thumb for crankbaits, start off with the smaller baits in the spring, progress to a little bit larger baits in midsummer, and then the biggest baits, use them in the fall in the cool water period, especially for large predators like pike and muskies.
There you go, James. Look at this guy here. Mr. Surrey,
Look at this horse,
Look
James.
at that guy. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful fish.
Okay.
Gotta take care of him. Be careful of these big guys here. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful muskie. Beautiful, beautiful fish. We better get